Okay. Kasi malaking issue ang
Good topic.
pag-CR.
Sige, yung
Oo,
CR na
talakayin natin. Pero, since issue siya, diba, parang nag-iisip ako, parang dapat yata may CR na yung mga LGBT. So kung hindi pala komportable ang bawat isa, wag nating ipilit. But hindi nyo na lang kami bigyan ng sariling CR ng LGBT para lahat may safe place. If men feel that they are unsafe, if women feel unsafe, and LGBT community feels unsafe, then create a safe place for everyone. Kaya nananawagan ako sa gobyerno, create a safe place for everyone. Kung hindi kami matatanggap, bigyan nyo kami ng CR. Gusto lang po namin umihi at dumumi. Yun.
Bakit niyo po nasabi yun? Hindi niyo na
What
kailangan.
for? Para ano? Ilang presidente na natulong ko, pang-anim na si Presidente Duterte.
Opo.
Bakit kailangan ko pa mag-LGBT?
Opo.
Like ko, ako nung this year, lahat ng LGBT, nilikong ko sila lahat. Ang sabi ko, tigilan na yung kabaklahan. Huwag na kayo magbestida sa kalye kasi lalo tayong pagtatawanan ng tao. Okay? Dapat tulong tayo sa kapwa para mahalin tayo ng tao. Ang lagi kong sinasabi, ang bakla, walang makakaintindi kundi kapwa bakla lang yan. Okay? Kahit sarili nilang nanay, kahit sarili nilang tatay, sabihin na, mahal ka namin, naintindihan ka na, shit. Mahuli ka ng tatay mo, kumokokak ka. Sipain ka pa ng tatay mo dahil. Pero ang bakla, mahuli ka ng bakla, kumokokak ka. Bakla, share a toy ha. Akin ang number, di ba? Nagkakaintindihan. Walang makakaintindi sa bakla, kundi kapwa bakla.
Ano po yung take?
At ang affair ng bakla, at ang affair ng mga bakla, dapat sa atin lang yan. Huwag natin pangalangdakan sa tao. Ba't kailangan ko sabihin sa madlang people na, intindihin mo nga ako, bakla ako. Teka muna.
So you're not for the LGBTQ na rights na mami
SOGIE bill, mother.
Ano pong yung take niyo doon, mother? Being iconic gay celebrity. You are an iconic.
Kung ikaw ay may nota, sa lalaki ka. Pag may kipay ka, sa babae ka. Nire-respeto kita bilang tao, nire-respeto kita bilang badi, pero lumugar tayo sa tamang lugar. Lumugar. Kung ikaw, babae at hindi ka na mabubog, parang lumusot ka, di ba? Kung makakalusot ka, kung hindi ka makalusot, ano ang problema mo?
Ni Jake Cyrus, alam niya, siya ng babae siya.
Biological kasi.
Kung may kipay ka, girl ka. Kung may nota ka, omri ka.
Nagpa-opera.
Kung nagpa-opera ka, kaso nga ang bakla, miski operada na, miski may kipay na, miski may boobs na, bakla pa ng utak dahil. Saka man nakakita, may kipay na, ito mo ang boobs ko, may babae bang ganon? May babae ganyan, di ba? Sabi ko, lugar lang sa tamang lugar, di ba? Doon lang tayo, kasi meron naman tayong gay community. Bakit kailangan natin pumunta ng mga na kung ano, may gay pageant naman tayo. Ba't tayo pupunta ng mga bar at pagpipilitan mong girl ka? May bar naman para sa mga bading, di ba? Doon ka sa lugar natin. Kung may pagsakasakan yung sarili mo sa, hindi ka naman matatangka.
Sa pakiramdam niyo ba, mother, na-exaggerate lang ka sa Congress, sa pinag-uusapang issue sa ngayon? Ano po yung damdamin niyo doon?
Let it be na lang. Basta ang bakla ay bakla. Ang bakla, miski anong gawin nyo, isulat niyan. Ang bakla ay bakla. Ang bakla, gilingin mo man yan. Ang labas niyan, baklang hamburger.
Sa CR.
Ayun nga, isa CR. Kasi ako, ang pananaw ko doon, bakit ba sa maging kailangan napakalaking issue na kailangan natin kumbinsihin yung pananaw ng bawat isang babae na kailangan maging komportable ka na nandyan ako sa loob ng CR. Di ba? And hindi, ito ang pananaw ko mabuti. Hindi porke ako, nagkaroon ako ng pagbabago sa pananaw ko, oobligahin kita na baguhin mo rin yung pananaw mo ayon sa akin. For example, ako papasok ako sa loob ng comfort room. Di ba marang ng mga tulas, may mga gwapo. Masarap tumabi sa kanya. Di ba? Masarap kasi makaswertehin ka. Pero hindi na ako tatabi. Hindi na eh. Kasi alam ko magiging uncomfortable siya dahil kilala ako eh. So, why should I feel bad about it? Di ba? It's just, hindi naman tutungkol sa discrimination na kasi maitim ako, therefore doon ka kumain, dito kami. Hindi siya tungkol sa ganun eh. ang ini-invade mo na yung privacy na matagal nang ganun ang nangyayari. We cannot just castigate people na, hoy, pareho na tayo ng krepyas. Therefore, dapat pwede na. Hindi siya ganun kadali eh. And
What
So I
kind
will respect the law.
what kind of toilets do you have in City Hall?
We have 2 toilets, one for women and one for men.
Are you going to add
Well,
for
why not?
neutral use?
Why not?
Malinis ba ang toilet nyo?
I'm very
Malinis ba ang
specific.
toilet nyo?
Challenging ang toilet namin.
Walang tubig. Walang tubig.
May tubig.
Sa amin wala.
May tubig. Pero it's a challenging thing.
What if that Gretchen had that experience not in Cubao but in City Hall? What would you have done?
What? Na pumasok siya sa...
Ayaw siya papasukin ng janitress sa ladies room.
Oh.
What would you or your janitress have done?
Well, ganito yan, ano? Let's be honest to ourselves. You were born male. Okay? Because of your preference, which I respect. No? Nagpatabas ka. At ginawa mong babae ang sarili mo based on, science.
Sexual preference.
But, kung ako naman sa iyo, kung ako naman while we respect you of your choices and preference, hindi ba naman magandang irespeto mo rin yung karapatan ng ibang tao? Because if you have a right, may right din yung ibang tao.
So pag may Adam's apple pa siya, malaki ang boses niya, malaki ang katawan, dapat sa men siya.
Well, it doesn't mean that malaki ang boses may Adam Apples, lalaki na. May kilala ako mga babae na malalaki talaga ang muscle. Kaya mali. Kaya ang discrimination should not...
Figure.
Talaga.
Privacy.
Sa totoo lang, tita. Kaya lang siya naging ngayon dahil, it turned out to be a political issue instead of a social issue that should be addressed. Kasi ako, naniniwala ako, sige tita, ganito. Let's just say, sige, ganun ang sitwasyon. Babae kayong 3. Sumok pa kayo sa pambabaeng CR. Kasi babae kayo eh. Tapos, alam mo, itong friend mo, hindi na dahil sa hindi mo alam alam mo itong friend mo, nagpatabas. And you know, that he was born male. Although your best friend, you're close, meron na siyang boobs, meron na siyang kung ano man yun, hindi ko ma-describe baka maano ko What would you feel, tita? Would you feel comfortable? No, comfortable?
With him or her.
Oh, him or her?
If I know her,
yes.
and he has convinced me that he's feminine, I will let him join me in that
Okay.
ladies' room.
Good for
But
you.
if he is a stranger,
Yes.
and he looks like a big guy who can overpower me, or he looks like a voyeur, I will be the one to go out. I will let him go in, but I will be the one to go away for my own safety.
So, it is unfair to you.
I will have to look for another bathroom.
Yeah, and it is unfair to any Marys.
So you're not going to encourage a bill of that sort like some other cities did?
Kasi ganito yun eh, tita, ganito yun. Ang sinabi lang sa kapanganakan ng ating estado, ang lalaki, pinanganak na lalaki, mananatiling lalaki. Hindi, yun ang ano eh. Sa birth certificate eh. Hindi ho ba? Ang sinabi naman ng kapanganakan mo'y babae, mananatili kang babae. Kasi patas yun eh. Yun ang susundin natin. Now, if we want to express ourselves, yes, you can. I will respect you with that. With all honesty, 100%. But now, if you want somebody, or you're requiring somebody to respect you,
Act accordingly.
ang galing mo, tita. Act accordingly. And respect is not being asked. It's being given. So ako, kasi, tingnan ninyo I don't want to be ruled if I am an ordinary citizen, I don't want to be ruled based on perception. I want to be ruled based on law. Because law, in a civilized world, in a civilized time, we are guided by law and order. Without it, that's anarchy.
And even though the word is not used here, the idea is, the homosexual lifestyle and all that has come about in our time, how do we as Christians deal with it? So Joe, if you don't mind, I'd like to take an extended answer on this. Let me give you about 3 panels of an answer. The first panel is the logical problem. The second panel is what I call the theological problem. And the third panel is what I would call the relational problem, how you communicate it. So let me take, first of all, the sociological issue here. What is the problem now? We talk about tolerance. So when I was at one of the prestigious universities, somebody went to the microphone and asked this question. And I said to the person, I will be glad to answer your question if you will first answer mine. What kind of a culture are we living in? You have to define it for me. I said, as far as I know, there are 3 cultures in relation to absolute. The first culture is called a theonomous culture, where the law of God is supposedly so embedded into our hearts that we all emotively or otherwise think in the same categories. Once upon a time, we would talk about the natural law in those categories, natural law. We believe these truths to be self-evident. The early framers believed in the natural law. We don't believe in natural law anymore, but we used to talk about it, and that's a theonomous culture. Theos, God, nomos, law. Sometimes the Indian culture will get close to that. It's not always the case, but they sort of, dharti ke aadmi is what they will say. We are people of the soil. And the idea of respect for parents and all of that, they consider to be self-evident, ingrained in the heart of man and so on. But we don't believe in the theonomous culture in the West. So what's the second kind of culture? The second kind of culture is a heteronymous culture. Heteros meaning another, nomos meaning law. So we have another law. What does that mean? The mainstream of the culture is dictated to by the leadership at the top. If you look at Marxism in secular terms, it is a heteronymous culture. The handful in the top will control the masses. If you look at Islam, it's a heteronymous culture. If you go to Saudi Arabia or you go to Iran, which are supposed to be truly Islamic countries, the mullahs or the sheikhs or who are the ayatollahs at the top will tell the masses when they must fast, when they can eat, what they must wear, what they must not wear, who they can be seen with, who they cannot be seen with. All of the dictates, even to the discipline of how you wash your hands and feet before you worship and so on. It's a heteronymous culture. The few at the top dictate it for the masses below. So I looked at the question and I said, are we a theonomous culture? He said, no. I said, are we a heteronymous culture? He said, no, we don't want the few to dictate it for the many. I said, so that leaves us with the third, which is an autonomous culture. Autos meaning self, nomos meaning law, which means each person dictates their own moral prerogatives in the. I said, are we an autonomous culture? He said, yes. I said, all right, now tell me this. If we are an autonomous culture, and I answer your question, are you going to give me the privilege of my autonomy too? Or as soon as you disagree with my answer, you will switch to a heteronymous mode and dictate for me what I must believe as well? That is the sociological dilemma. That is the sociological dilemma, because if A disagrees with B, it's not just that A is enforcing his or her principles upon B, but B wants to enforce his or her principles upon A. So there's a mutual autocracy being sought here, but it is never going to be consistent in a culture that is neither theonomous nor heteronymous. Autonomous cultures run into a conflict where everybody has their own autonomy. That's the sociological issue. And so she said, I have a problem with Christianity, and here's my problem. Christians are generally against racism, but when it comes to the homosexual, they discriminate against the homosexual. How do you explain that? I said, I find your comments so interesting. In the first part of the question, it's an ism you're talking about. In the second part of the question, you particularize it with an individual. So I'm just fascinated by that, but that's okay. I said, here's what I want to say to you. The reason we believe that discrimination ethnically is wrong is because the race and ethnicity of a person is sacred. You do not violate a person's ethnicity and race. It is a sacred gift. And the reason we believe in an absoluteness to sexuality is because we believe sexuality is sacred as well. And that's why we make our choice that same way. I said, you will help me if you will tell me why you treat race as sacred and desacralize sexuality. She was very quiet. She said, I've never thought of it in those terms. Here's what I want to say to you. Marriage, as God has given it to us, and if you take the whole corpus of the worldview, is the most sacred relationship into which you will enter. Because love is given one word in English, but there are 4 words in the Greek. Agape, eros, storge, and agape, phileo, storge, and eros. Agape is God's love. Phileo is friendship love or brotherly love. Storge is protective love or parental love. Eros is romantic love. I said, do you realize marriage is the only one that pulls these 4 together? Agape, phileo, storge, and eros. I said, and if you take agape out of that, eros is gone for whatever you want to do. Romantic love becomes redefined. And to us, the Bible gives the sacredness of marriage as Christ is to the church, the bridegroom and the bride. And in that sacredness and the beauty of a consummate relationship between a man and a woman, as it is shown in the singular commitment of the marital vow, I do and I will. When you say I do to the one, you say I don't to all of the others. And you say I will to one, you're saying I won't to all of the others. So any departure from that beauty and sacredness of the 4 confluences of love is a biblical notion of what it really means to be married. And to just take one behavior and make it look like it's aberrant is not right. All departures from that are not acceptable in the sight of God. The theological position is a consummate relationship between a man and a woman in the procreative act and in the sacredness and paying each other the ultimate compliment of taking each other at their word. So theologically, this is the way we see it. Sociologically, we've been put into a conundrum. So we come then in relationally, how do we deal with it? And here's the hard part. But you know what? And my wife will tell you this, others will tell you this who know me. I accept people with a love and a genuineness, regardless of what their view is on anything, if it's different to mine. I have learned to love humanity. I can put my arm around a person who has a different view on marriage or a different view on politics or whatever and just say, you know, God gives you the most sacred gift of the prerogative of choice. But God does not give you the privilege of determining a different outcome to what the choice will entail.